Hey guys, so as part of my 3,000 subscriber special, I am answering your questions. I've decided to answer about one question per video so I can answer your question properly rather than have to gloss over 10 or 20 questions in a single video and not really answering any of them particularly well. If you guys have any questions you would like to ask me, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below because I will be answering more. And today's question is a technical one and it comes from, let me just check here, Nicholas Parks. What do you think is better, Intel or AMD based on experience? Okay, an interesting question, and one which I do have a degree of experience with, having worked with both Intel and AMD processors over the years. Now, I used Intel processors almost exclusively right up until about 4 years ago when I did a massive upgrade and decided to switch from Intel processors to AMD processors for no other reason than I decided one day just to go into the shop and buy the most expensive and highest performing CPU motherboard combo that there was available, which just happened to be an AMD processor at the time. Had Intel be offering the top chips at that particular day in that particular store, I would have probably gone with them still. Now, I do remember noticing over the years that there is a bit of a price difference between Intel and AMD, with Intel being significantly more expensive. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head whether or not that price difference is still there, but I do know that anyone who's been using computers for any length of time will have a bias towards Intel simply because they do have a pretty good reputation and they have been around, they've been around. They're a company that know what they're doing. Now, AMD have also been around for a while, but certainly not as long as Intel. And to be honest, for a long time that AMD was in the marketplace, they never really had the prestige that Intel had, being, well, maybe should we say, the cheaper alternative for a certain amount of time. And but I got to admit, cards on the table here, I've not had any kind of problems with either processors. I've been very happy with every single Intel processor that I've owned, and I've been pretty happy with every single AMD processor that I've ever owned. I couldn't tell you the difference. And I guess, unfortunately, that's not really an answer to the particular question, but maybe, I guess, in a way, that's kind of a good thing. I gotta say, I don't feel that one company lags particularly far behind the other. And again, if I was to buy a new processor that would be, say, top of the range or anything, I would probably still opt to go with Intel because of my old school biases rather than any kind of quantitative or objective information that I have. It just feels that because Intel's perhaps an older company and a company that I have more sort of years working with, I probably would opt for them. But again, there's no reason why I wouldn't choose an AMD processor. Both really good. Neither company has done anything to warrant pushing my business elsewhere. So anyway, thanks very much for the question. Wish I could have actually answered it, I guess. But anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Chris Ware, and you've been awesome. Take care now. So this is just the end slate, just to let you guys know what other kind of projects I'm working on. For those of you that don't know, I have a second channel where I do more informal, casual type stuff. And I also have a gaming channel. So if you guys are into that kind of stuff, you might want to check those out. Also, if you want to ask me any questions or just have a chat about whatever it is that I've been talking about in this video, feel free to check out my Twitter and my Tumblr as well. I spend a fair amount of time on them. Toodaloo.